Does practicing hypnosis require silence? Well, we got a good question that came in from a student wanting to know if any of the power inductions in our power inductions course can be done in an environment where there's not total silence, or if there's even noise. So let's talk about that.
That's a good question. First of all, let's answer by saying you will never have total silence unless you're in an audio exclusion zone. It's just not going to happen.
100%, even in a classroom, even in an office. I mean, yeah, unless you go into an anechoic chamber or something like that,
right?
Which
is not bizarre. A pleasant thing.
You will never have total silence. So that pretty much means you must learn to incorporate things that happen. We always teach incorporation, but you have to incorporate noise,
background sound.
Right.
Now, obviously, we don't want a thump, thump, thump of a stereo in the background, or a marching band or a jackhammer right next to the person. But the normal sounds, even in something like a subway train, we've told our students can do hypnosis in a subway if they need to. Not that you're typically going to need to, but the point is, you don't have to be super quiet. It's really absolutely nonsensical. You incorporate by bringing in whatever sound is there and making it work for you.
And as you hear the sound of that subway train rolling down the track, it's a simple thing to allow yourself to roll into an even more comfortable trance.
Nice.
That sort of thing, right?
That works.
So anything like that, and you can incorporate all kinds of
anything that would be a distraction, use it. Make it work for you instead. I remember years ago I saw Ravine, who has passed away, but he was a great hypnotist. He was at the Imperial Room in Toronto at the Royal York Hotel, and his show involved, he had two of his sons, adult boys, would stand at each side of the stage, and while he was doing his induction, they would shush and quiet the audience constantly. Now, that's old school, the belief that you have to have absolute silence to make it work, and nothing could be further from the truth.
For your stage hypnosis shows, in fact, we just finished recording the whole director's cut of the show, which we'll make sure we drop a link here because you're going to want to watch it. It's awesome. We're breaking down the full hypnosis show that Mike did and explaining it. But there's tons of noise. I mean, the audience is hilariously laughing, and you're encouraging it. It's part of it. And it's all part of the idea of incorporating what goes on.
And the reason is, as long as they can hear you clearly, you're not going to have a problem. As long as they can understand what you're saying, you're not going to have a problem.
Yeah, exactly. For example, let's say in our Toronto classroom, we might have 40 or 50 people in there, and when we teach, then we'll say, okay, go practice this. Break into groups of 2 or groups of 3. Well, they're able to hear other groups talking, and that's fine, provided that the hypnotist can speak and the subject can hear what he or she is saying. No problem at all.
Just watch for massively intrusive sounds. Otherwise, you're going to be just fine.
Yeah, you don't want jackhammers or like big construction noises and bangs and boom-ch music playing and stuff like that.
I worked with someone once, and an air conditioner kicked in. We were doing a hypnosis trance, so the person was imagining walking through a forest. The air conditioner kicked in, and as the person began to come out of it, because of this heavy-duty industrial air conditioner, I just said, and around the next bend, you can hear the sound of a waterfall. And she went, right back into it. Yeah. That's incorporation.
Yes, exactly, yes. And so if a phone rings, you can just utilize that, incorporate it into the experience, and that can ring true for you in so many ways. And you'll remember to deal with what's important after this session ends, whatever the case may be.
That's it. The key is to focus on principles, not scripts. Principles will work for you anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, you can't have a script that will tell you how to deal with this specific interruption, so you've got to learn the principles of hypnosis rather than reading scripts like Mike just said. So if you're interested in learning more about hypnosis, just check out the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy. It's free to get started with us.
Thanks again.
And good night.